chess is mental combat, and it's a game for warriors, and you're risking, you're pitting your intelligence, your experience, your bravery against someone else's. And all those factors come into play: hindsight, foresight, planning, tactics, strategy. But it's the ultimate game of warfare, you know, where the good thing about it was no one gets killed. But everything else, the tactics, the strategy, the planning, the, the unique characteristics of your personality, whether you're an attacker or a defender or both, and how you plan and strategize in order to win the game. And, you know, what level of risk are you going to take in order to win? Are you going to be a conservative counterpuncher, or are you going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at the guy
Right.
in order to win the game? But it's different personalities play different ways.
Sure.
But in the end, you're pitting your skill and experience and intelligence and your bravery, you know, in battle against somebody else. And there's not much luck involved. The only time luck comes into play is the fact that you've had more experience than your opponent. You matched up with an opponent that doesn't have as much experience as you do. And so even if they're smarter, chances are they're not going to win, you know, because experience has a great deal to do with it. But
And what about
when
psychologically?
the experience levels are close to equal, then it becomes a good game because it's exciting because you're pitting your similar skills against someone else's. And so there's, and you have to learn to recognize winning patterns. That's the thing about the game is when you look at the board and you see patterns that can help you win the game. You know, that's strategic chess and pawn structure and the way you organize your pieces to control the center of the board. That's strategy. But the idea of planning an actual attack, you know, is tactics. And you try to rip your opponents off by winning material, you know, by attacking with more force than they can defend against.
Right.
And you might plan an attack that's a feint in order to get their attention on the other side of the board when your actual plan is to attack in a different place. And there's so many things involved. And it's such a great game for developing your mental cognitive powers. It's a great game for kids because there's not a whole lot of activities that that force them to think very deeply and carefully and to plan and strategize and then to put that plan into action. And the idea is it's such a good activity because your mind is just like a muscle. You got to exercise it in order to make it work better. And chess is the ultimate expression of that mental weightlifting capability.
Wow.
You know, and the thing is, it's so fun and exciting if you're playing, but if you're watching somebody else play, it's about like watching the grass grow, because you're not a lot of times you're not so involved in the strategy and tactics, and if you don't have the skill or experience to recognize what's going on, then, you know, for a bystander who's not experienced, you know, it doesn't hold that much interest to watch a chess game. But to be actually playing one, it's like entering the arena, and you've got on your full armor, and you're ready to fight.
I love
it. That's That's what the game of chess is about. It's battle, the call to battle, the call to pitch your mind, skill, and experience, and intelligence against someone else's. And the thing is, you know, there's nothing more satisfying than watching your opponent's face in despair as you're about ready to checkmate him. The idea is it's sadistic, but nobody gets hurt.
Right.
You might lose a chess piece, or you might lose the game,
Or your dignity.
but nobody has to suffer any permanent damage.
Right.
And the good thing about chess is, even if you lose, you can learn from experience, so that the next time you play a game, you'll be a better player. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the possibilities of various types of situation are almost endless. And so even though you have a lot of experience, you can't even begin to scratch the surface of all the possibilities of chess. You'd have to live, almost an infinite number of years and play an infinite amount of time in order to reach all the possibilities that chess offers. Mm-hmm. And that's why it's such a great game, because you'll never exhaust it. Mm-hmm. And it's not like football or some other sport where you grow old and you can't play anymore.
Right.
You can play, as long as you can breathe.
Right.
So
even if your knees give out.
Game.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's a hobby for a lifetime.
Right.
And so that's why it's such a great game, because it's exciting. It develops your cognitive abilities, and it's great fun.
Even old people can be warriors.
And since it's warfare,
Yeah.
that's the manly pursuit of warriors. And if you may not be on an actual battlefield, but when you step up to the chessboard, you're on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. You're in the arena, mm-hmm. and you play to win.
Yeah.
You never play, well, I think I'll let this guy win a game just so he doesn't get, I've never let anybody win a game. I encourage him, and I try to help him.
But you're really popular with your students.
I don't throw the game. If they beat me, they have to beat me fair and square.
Well,